Hey guys, my name is Justin Short, and today we're going to talk about the 7 biggest mistakes that you don't want to make while selling your home during COVID. So check out the video, we'll get into all the details, and hopefully it'll help you out. So first, before we get into all the info, if you guys are liking these videos, we're sending them out once a week. If you think it's helpful content, if you like what you're seeing, please go ahead and subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll continue to see them, and we're going to keep the videos coming. So once a week, you're going to be getting them, and hopefully it's helpful content for you. So we'll get into the mistakes. So mistake number 1 is right now during COVID is just not having the proper safety supplies that are out. So there are, as realtors and really just as Californians right now, there's certain rules that we have to follow as far as being out and about, right? And especially when we're showing homes, there's some regulations that are put on by the California Association of Realtors. So you want to make sure that everyone's coming through, they're going to be wearing masks, right? Everything is sanitized properly. And so the best thing that you can do as a homeowner and when you're selling your home is supplying those items to the buyer and the agent. So that way there's no issues, right? So you don't have to worry about who was wearing a mask, who was not. So that's like one of the things we're doing for our clients is when we put the home up on the market, we're creating a little basket, right? It has gloves, and it has booties, and it has face mask and a lot of hand sanitizer in it, so that way it's there, and then they can leave that out when we have showings to supply that to all the buyers that are coming through. So I think that's a good thing for you as a homeowner. It kind of helps you keep you safe and also helps make sure the buyer's going to comply with all the rules and regulations that we need. So mistake number 2 is being home during showings. So in general, that's really just a bad rule, right? Anytime that someone is buying a home, think about it, you're going into a stranger's home, you're looking around and kind of judging the property, right? You're thinking to yourself and your spouse, do I like those countertops? Do I like those floors? Wow, that's the ugliest bathroom I've ever seen, right? All those things. And you can't properly say that if the person that owns that is right next to you. So the homeowner's right next to you, you're just like, oh, it's nice, I love your dishes, and you're just gonna move on. So it's just not a good idea anyways. More importantly, right now during COVID, that's definitely important just because of all the virus risk, right? So people have different comfort levels and with what's going on. So it's really best to help keep your distance. Everyone wants to keep that social distancing. So for you and as a homeowner and any other people that are in the home to be able to leave, go to the park, go for a quick walk, go to the store, go wait in the car for the 10-15 minutes while the buyer's coming in for the showing, I think is super important. It's gonna, 1, help your home show better. 2, it's going to help make the buyer feel more comfortable, be able to express themselves. And 3, it's going to help make them more safe. And really, it is more safe for everybody. It's more safe for you as well. And then mistake number 3 that we're seeing is not having your house ready to go on the market the day that you list it. And so what that means is not necessarily you as a homeowner, but that's as the agent, right? So we're talking about like marketing materials. We're talking about all the different advertising that we're going to do, where before we used to see a lot of agents that would maybe put the home up on the market. Maybe you have some professional photos that are taken, they come a week later, maybe the videos a week after that, and maybe these nice brochures come in the week after that. So right now, it's a heavy seller's market, and we just don't have the time for that. So it's very, very important that the agent that you're using has all of those marketing materials ready to go right from the get-go. So on day 1, you want to already have done your staging, you want to have done the professional photos, you want to have done the professional video, the 3D tours, you want to have printed the nice brochures, you want to have all that ready to go at the property and ready to go right from the get-go. Because truthfully, once you put it up on the market, right now it's such a heavy seller's market, you're going to get a lot of activity and you're not going to have time to backfill that in. So it is very important to make sure it's all done properly so you get the most advertising, you have the best opportunity and the best look out there to sell your home, and you're going to get the most people through and ultimately the most offers. So that would be a big thing. Mistake number 4 that we're seeing is just overpricing your home. So right now, I think everybody knows, or everyone should know, that it is a heavy, heavy, heavy seller's market. There's just not enough available for homes for sale, and a lot of homes are selling not only at list price with multiple offers, actually over list price. The price is getting bid up. We've had homes sell $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over what they're actually listed for. And so because one of the things that makes it important is make sure you're actually priced properly from the get-go. So what we are starting to see is some people that are starting at that extra $30,000 price point, right? And the issue with that is they're overpricing the market. So let's say, for example, your neighbor's home that's a fair comp sold for $600,000. You price the home at $630,000, right? So that's a big gap there. In that case, you're going to get a lot less activity on your home. You're going to get a lot less showings. You're going to get a lot less feedback. You're going to get a lot less people through the home. So when that's happening, you're not going to get that same momentum, that same frenzy to bid the price up. So what we're having the most success with, and what we're seeing for our clients, is pricing the home about where the comps are. You're right. The neighbor sold a few months ago for $600, pricing it right around that $600, $605 range, right? Having all the right marketing ready to go from the get-go to kind of get that nice little boost. And then from there, let the market kind of bid itself up. So get that frenzy. You want to have that 15, 20, 25 showings. We've had up to 50 showings that first weekend, and have that frenzy going to have that 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 offers to help bid the price up. So that's really what we're having the most success with, is pricing it in line with where the comps are and then letting it shoot up from there. We've seen other people, they start too high and they never get that price, and they have to come down and actually sell for a little bit less than they would have if they would have priced it properly from the get-go. And then mistake number 5 is that we're seeing that people are not planning. Mistake number 5 that we're seeing is people that are not planning properly for the upcoming showings that we're going to have. So again, we talked about it. It's a heavy seller's market. We're going to get a lot of activity, a lot of showing on all of our new listings. But what we really is the best thing to do, what we want to do, and what we feel like the best thing is for our clients to do, is to plan for that first weekend to really make the house super, super available. So usually we're going to go up on the market probably on a Wednesday, maybe a Thursday, to give the house some time to build a little bit momentum, right? And then that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, ideally we'd like to have the home open some between like 11 at the latest, like 11 and 5 throughout that day on Friday, and then on the weekend, like really from like a 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And truthfully, right now with all the activity, almost that whole day is going to be scheduled for showing. So now when that's the case, is you as a homeowner, really you should plan accordingly. We're having a lot of people maybe taking a trip out of town, maybe spending some time at a family member's house, that type of thing, because there's just going to be so many people coming in. If you're going to have 25, 30, 40 showings, that's a never-ending onslaught of people coming in, so for you to want to come back home, and it just becomes very difficult, and it's going to make for a really miserable weekend for you and your family, and it's going to cause some issues with the timings on the showing. So really best practice is we're having our clients, if we know we're going to have a lot of activity, spend a couple days out of the house, let us just have this window so we can have all these people through, get all this activity, and hopefully get those offers to bid the price up. And then mistake number 6 is that we're seeing some people that are just going outright and they are accepting the first offer that comes in. So this used to be actually a pretty good rule of thumb, where it was actually kind of a saying, your first offer is your best offer, right? And that's just not the case right now. So right now it's such a heavy competitive market, is really the best practice is to be able to put the home on the market, let a few days up to a week for showings and activity, let all these interested people check out the home, and then sit on it and let the offers come in. Don't take the first one, let the 3rd, 4th, 5th one come in. Take a look at all of them together. At that time, we can bid them up against each other. We can hopefully get them to negotiate against each other and ultimately get the best terms for you, best price and terms. So that's something we have a lot more success with rather than just jumping on the first one. And then mistake number 7 is not negotiating the buyer's contingencies up front. So right now we're seeing these prices getting bid up very high, right? I think we've kind of made that clear. I think it's probably the 5th time that I mentioned that. But at the same time, you as a seller right now, you are in the driver's seat, right? It is a seller's market, and you really have all the power and the leverage. So yes, it's important for price-wise to get that and get the best terms on price. But price doesn't necessarily mean the best closing, and really we want to get to the best closing scenario for you as a seller. So that's price and other terms. So that could be close date, picking your own close date. That could be picking a certain amount of rent back that you're going to need. So basically to close escrow on the property and then have the right to stay there for a certain amount of time after closing. Could be a week, 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days. We've had up to 90 days for our clients because that was important for them. Or it also could just be the buyer's contingency period, right? So anytime someone's buying your home and their purchase is contingent upon certain factors. So they're contingent upon an appraisal, they're contingent upon doing their due diligence and a home inspection and making sure the house is really what they want. You know, there's some things that the purchase is contingent on. So what we're able to do, because we're in the driver's seat, right, as a seller, is we're able to ask for some concessions there. So that could be a shorter timeline. So that could be instead of taking 17 days to do home inspections and make sure the house is what they want, we say, hey, we need it done in 7 days. So that makes it's a smoother process for you as a home seller. It could be 10 days. It could be limiting the things you're selling the home as is, and we're not going to be making any repairs. That could be another aspect. Or the big thing right now is on the appraisals. So right now, when we're seeing these prices jump 20 grand, 30 grand over list price, the biggest issue with that is most people are going to be financing the home, right? So when they're financing the home, they're getting a loan on it. When you're getting a loan, you're going to have an appraisal that's done. So when you're having an appraisal done on the property, the appraisals, they're going to value it about where the other comps were. So if you're selling it $30,000 higher than where that other appraisal is, well, there's an issue. The bank's not going to loan on the higher dollar amount. So if we do this up front, we're having a lot of success with going back to the buyers and saying, hey, we understand we boosted the price up. This is our concern that it's not going to appraise at that higher number. So what we need you buyer to do, if you really want this, we need you to, one, commit to covering the gap. So if the appraisal comes in at that lower $600,000 number and you're buying it for $630,000, we need you to commit to covering up that gap, no matter what that appraisal is. Are you okay with that? Yes, no. Or it could be, hey buyer, we need you to commit to X amount over appraisal. So kind of set that dollar amount up front. So it could be, hey, we need you to commit to paying $20,000 over the appraised value. So that means if it appraises at $610,000, you're going to willing to cover the gap, that $20,000 gap, to $630,000. If it appraises at $600,000, you're going to cover the gap to $620,000, and then we'd have to lower the price down. So, setting those expectations up front, when it is a heavy seller's market, we have all these offers coming in, right? That's when we're in the driver's seat as the seller, right? So we can really dictate those terms, and that's our best time to negotiate. If we don't do it now, doing it down the line 2 weeks later after a home inspection, it's not the time to do it. At that point, really, we've missed our best opportunity, we've lost our leverage, right? And we don't have that same ability to negotiate. So, those are just a couple things, or I guess a few things, 7 things that we found that people are making some mistakes on right now as we're going through COVID. So it's about February 2021. Hopefully we are getting towards the end of all this COVID madness, but and until then, there's some things to really pay attention to. So hopefully the video is helpful. If you like the video, if you think it's helpful content, please go ahead and subscribe. We're going to send out the videos each week. Hopefully they're going to be helpful, location based. And if there's anything that I can do out here, please reach out anytime. You can see my information, call, text, email. I'd love to help. And hopefully talk to you guys soon. Thanks.